Football jury.
So, as the beautiful Selena informs her compatriots how these symphonic shenanigans have finally reached their conclusion, let's once again sit back and soak up the Korean harmonies of the victorious UK entry.
We'll be watching the telly for every World Cup tie. We'll feel like incredible Nellies because we didn't qualify. They'll be cheering in Chicago while we'll be watching the Caron. You won't find us on World Cup stickers. We're stuck back home.
We thought we were in with a chance till Romania took the lead.
Graham Taylor plays three at the back against Norway, and Phil Neal agreed.
We were destined to falter.
I thought we played well against Malta,
But it don't matter if we got there. Then after a disappointing draw with Saudi Arabia
and a shock defeat at the hands of South Korea,
and a courageous but futile display against the Germans, we'd be back home.
Caron Keating, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it.
Caron Keating.
Hello and welcome to Fantasy Football League. It's a bit hot.
It's a bit hot in here, isn't it? A lovely Eurovision start. Smashing.
This week our guest managers are Richard Littlejohn and at last the new manager of the Golders Greenbacks.
And we'll be celebrating a very special anniversary that falls this Saturday.
And we'll be saying a big hello to David Sadler.
Hello, I'm David Sadler.
Hello! Oh, cheer up.
First, a few things we noticed from watching football this week. With Man United looking uncatchable at the top of the Premiership, there's been suggestions that Blackburn goalie Tim Flowers has already given up hope.
And with the crucial Oldham Spurs clash coming up, we hear rumours that Eric Torsvet broke into the ground in order to do some secret training on the Boundary Park pitch.
And sticking with Man City, there was pandemonium this week when Steve McMahon was booked for looking too much like the referee. That's unfair, isn't it, there?
And with the announcement this week that Channel 4 are going to run Ryan Giggs Soccer School, we'd like to offer Ryan some helpful examples from our own fantasy coaching video. First of all, how not to take a corner.
That could happen to anyone, couldn't it? And next, how not to finish.
Goodness me.
Absolutely unbelievable, that one.
And finally, the set piece. Great to see.
Now, for all you Arsenal fans who are incredibly impressed with the match highlights shown on the high-tech giant video screens at Highbury, I think it's about time we revealed who they've got in to do the commentary.
It's been a busy week for Arsenal and they have a third home game. The previous two have ended in 1-0 victories and Ian Wright grabbed the winner on Saturday against Chelsea.
So let's get this right, Stato. If you go to Highbury and watch a game, at half-time and at the end of the match, they show highlights of the game. Is that right?
Yeah, they're not allowed to show the controversial bits, but I think it's great for the supporters that they're able to see on these giant big screens that Arsenal have exclusively match highlights at half-time, full-time. I think it's a thing for the future, and obviously it's great for everybody who goes to the game. They're able to see the highlights at half-time and full-time.
If there are any highlights.
Fantastic advert for the game there.
Anyway, Stato, tell us all about it.
Well, now it's time for my news round. A decisive week in the Premiership may prove to be a decisive week in the Fantasy League. David has made a burst for the line. Basil Brush desperately needs goals from somewhere, and John, after a fantastic 7 days, at last has the leaders in sight. Motti set a BBC Two world record 35 points this week, thanks in part to a hat-trick from Wimbledon's Dean Holdsworth. David's new signing, Martin Allen, paid immediate dividends with 2 goals that may have inched his manager 6 points closer to the title. Long-time challenger Basil Brush's goalkeeping problems were not solved when new signing Andy Dibble encountered Eric Cantona returning for Manchester United. But Roy Hattersley's 4 clean sheets to go along with this goal from Ian Rush leave him with a glimmer of hope on the run-in. Down at the bottom, the new manager of the Golders Greenbacks has his work cut out. Changes will surely have to be made if Mr. X is to avoid the drop.
Does Martin Allen always run like that?
Yeah, always.
That's strange. They bought him from Camberwick Green. Anyway, now another in our regulars leader. Now, and that'll teach me. You see, Martin Allen is a gypsy and put a terrible curse on me. Did you know that?
No.
If you're watching, Martin, I'll have some heather next week. And now another in our regular series. Old football was rubbish.
Not to be confused with our other regular series, Sheffield United are rubbish.
No, of course not. Now, you can't watch old football actually without one of these on. Right. This week, we concentrate on the supporters from that bygone age.
Old football was rubbish, old football just wasn't very good.
Bit of a poor attendance at this game, just everybody in the whole country.
Yeah, but incredibly, they only sold 15 tickets. That might be why.
This is how people got to matches, and in a second the driver says, "Hey lads, we're at the ground."
Some of the poor people had to walk so far to the game that their bodies couldn't come to terms with the fact they'd actually arrived at the ground. Now, this woman is a streaker. They were a bit rubbish in those days, and a bit more conservative than your modern streaker.
Oh, end-to-end stuff. Half time. Oh, we're off again.
There's the crowd rushing to look at another streaker.
And there he is.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I did enjoy that. It is hot, actually. You're quite right. Anyway, look, can you see it now? Subtle joke is lost on this slide. Anyway, where's the guest manager?
I don't know, let's see what's on the telly.
And Fred Davis has left Brown on the bottom cushion. Still, what can you expect when they get to that age? Oh dear. And Thorburn must have been put off by that doorbell. Fred, of course, didn't hear it.
It's Paul McGrath! No, he seems to have disappeared.
Oh, no, what a letdown.
It's Richard Littlejohn! Hello, Richard.
Young man, how are you?
I'm very well, how are you?
Very well.
You were meant to be playing in the charity game before the Autoglass Trophy, but you bottled out.
Well, bottled is the right word. I've been out with Paul McGrath the night before and didn't wake up.
Yeah.
Lucky to get one of them then, really.
I'm told it was like one of those school games in the playground where everybody chased the ball because they wanted to score a goal.
And also
at
I
Wembley.
asked some girls to show me their private parts halfway through the game.
Behind the bike shed.
Yeah.
And did that work?
Yeah, that worked very well. Yeah. For me. Yeah. So
I'll
anyway.
be back in about... So Martin Allen was playing. No, he wasn't. It's rubbish.
Richard, you're becoming an enormous star. You've got chat shows on Sky Television and one coming up on LWT or something.
That's right, which will actually go directly in opposition with this programme.
Is that right, really?
Anglia Television rang. They wanted me to present a farming programme.
Really?
I can't imagine why, goodness.
They wanted me the weatherman in Grampian. And I was very tempted.
Surely the weatherman in Grampian just says raining.
That's it. That's it. I thought I had the face for it.
Does Anglia still use that? Dun, 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 dun.
Well, actually,
live from Norwich, it's the quiz of the week.
You know the thing that turned around? That was actually the Richard's dog.
Live from Norwich, it's the quiz of the week. What would have happened if Mike Walker had left 3 months earlier? I think we know, don't we? Do you find working for the Sun? Do you find that you come across lots of soccer scandals and stuff like that? Do you?
You do work for the Sun.
Well, occasionally it's been known that I occasionally do appear between the sheets of that.
Because it seems it's a bit of a dying art, though, the controversial footballer. Do you not think?
Well, I tell you, I used to think that that footballers were better. Basically, they were better players if they smoked and drunk and were seen out with dolly birds in horrible nightclubs.
We look at the best players we've seen in our time. Jimmy Greaves, George Best.
Yeah. Is that
We had a bloke called Willie Johnston at West Brom, who's a bit of a wild boy. And if you remember, he got sent back from the World Cup for some sort of failing a drugs test.
78 World Cup, wasn't it? Yeah.
And I remember seeing him once in a game, and he kicked the referee up the arse in the game and got sent off, obviously. And he said it was an accident. He didn't intend kicking him up the arse, but he turned around at the last minute.
I've got to stop. I can't wait to find out who the new manager of the Golders Greenbacks is.
Well, whoever he is, I hope he can put up with the pressures of the relegation zone. I tell you, he's got 2 weeks to pull off the great escape.
Oh my God, it's Dave Harry Bassett!
We've got it. We've got a Tottenham fan here, chanting "Going down, going down, going down."
Yeah. And we've got a Gillian Tailforth fan singing it over there. Heaven's sake.
Don't chat with your mouth full. Anyway, Dave.
Oh, I'm sorry about that Sheffield United joke earlier. Obviously, I didn't mean it.
I'm used to it.
Are you?
Yeah.
You must be, actually. Dear, oh dear.
So, are you going to pull it out of the fire again, Dave? Are you going to save Sheffield United?
You don't sound too confident, do you?
No, well, I'll tell you, it's a good win last week, you know. Because Norwich are going down next season.
No, tell us what your plans are. How are you going to save us? Save them?
What, Sheffield United or the Greenbacks?
Well, talk about Sheffield United first of all.
Well, there's not much I can do now. The players have
Well,
got
you're the manager.
I'm abdicating. Not down to me. That's what I tell the chairman anyway.
Right.
It's down to the players' confidence. They know what they've got to do. 3 games, 9 points.
Right. That's what West Brom have to do as well, I thought.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Golders Greenbacks.
All right.
So you've taken on a hell of a job here, Dave, because Peter Cook left it in disarray.
Yeah. He went because of financial irregularities, didn't he? You know?
Well, you mean we didn't pay him?
Well, I got my accountant outside, so he said only take it temporary.
Are you going to have an assistant manager, Dave?
Well, it's a bit late for that, really. We just got to make some changes, and we've got to get going straight away because, you know, we're looking up at everybody, and you know, it's a good place for a manager to be, to admire the people above you.
Because you usually work with an assistant, yeah?
Oh yeah, you always work with an assistant.
I think it's incredible the way a manager and assistant work together. Do they start to more or less think as one person, you know?
We took the corner. No, he's marking at a corner. Who's he marking? He's marking at he's at the near post with Oldfield and James, him and Deansy there. All right. So it's him marking with Deansy. Still need the zone. Yeah, what's the zone? In the corner. In the front. No, Jock's the zone. This is on the edge. Jock's come up by taking any to mark. No, it's their job. That's all the only difference.
Do I not like that?
Couple of queens, weren't we?
Had you met before, you and the assistant manager?
No, it's the first game together.
I thought it might have been.
The wonderful thing is that's the season when you went up.
No, it's got more confused since.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they don't have a mascot every week at Sheffield. They have an assistant manager every week who just comes in and says, Dave, what are you talking about?
Actually, Dave, let's just ask before you go, why are you called Harry? Why are you called Harry?
Oh, it's a nickname. The old man's name's Harold, and when I was over the park as kids, I wouldn't come in from football. My mum used to shout out, "Harold, get him in!" You know, and it
Was
just
she a
sort of
steptoe, son? Actually, we've been watching your career very closely here at Fantasy Football. We've noticed that you've always gone for a softly approach with the players.
There's nobody wanting to get in there and really score a goal. There's crosses coming in, they're getting on the end of it. I tell you, they have more desire to win it tonight than you lot. What about the bounce up there? They have an attack!
What on earth were you saying there?
That's a bit like a news conference at the Sun.
That's the longest bleep I've ever heard, I swear. I'm telling you. You just stop using clean words and put about 6 swear words together in one massive flow.
Yeah, well, sometimes the players don't realise I'm angry unless I use that language. But
I'll
I'll probably have to
know.
apologise to the FA one, I know.
Oh, it's all cut out, so you're all right. So it's like it's like a team talk from R2D2, isn't it? Anyway, Richard, now getting back to the subject of Fantasy League, let's have a look at the Garinchas dog side. Because last time you were on, you were doing incredibly well.
We were top for a while.
Yeah,
you
for quite a while, actually.
It's called Garincha's dog, and like last time you explained that was because of a dog that came on.
The very dog here, of course.
Yeah. It's a Garinchas dog, totally. Yeah. In case anyone who didn't see that, a dog ran on an England-Brazil game, and Jimmy Greaves caught it, and the dog urinated on him. And Garincha thought it was so funny. Garincha, the Brazilian player, took the dog home and had it as a pet.
Adopted it, that's right.
Well, incredibly, we've managed to find a clip of that actual moment. Yeah, really.
Now, Garincha going to have a shot. This is Garincha, number 7. A bit of body swerve than Garincha's got. Now, Jimmy Greaves. Willie. Well done, Jimmy.
You can see him. He's just coming there. The thing is, there were 2 other dogs in this game.
And another dog has come on this dog.
That's a different dog.
It's the same dog.
No, it's a different dog. Right, and then there's a third one there. Can you just see it in the corner? He hasn't got the bottle to get on the pitch.
Do you think that's a dog? Do you think it's a dog track round the outside?
That was a dog warming up, getting ready to come on.
It could have been Garincha's rabbit.
Good job it wasn't a South Korea game, isn't it? But your team is... It's nice to see Jimmy Greaves on his hands and knees smelling of piss again. The memories come flooding back. Anyway, Garincha's dogs, the team. What went wrong?
We started off rather well. I mean, we're the sort of Carlisle United of the Fantasy League. We started off, we were top of the league for a couple of weeks, weren't we? And then we went into free fall.
Well, you sort of hovered around that. It was all looking good. Can you sort of identify what went wrong?
Ian Culverhouse went wrong for a start. I mean, as soon as Walker left Norwich leaked goals in, well, they did 14 or 15 goals in a couple of weeks, wasn't it? They got stuffed several times.
Whereas Everton suddenly started playing brilliantly. What do you think's gone wrong, Stato, as a sort of a fantasy league expert with
well, I think you've been unlucky with injuries as well. I mean, Mickey Barmby, you'd have expected to pick up more than 7 points, Richard, for your team. I mean, yeah, you're right at the defence. There's not been many players that have really done themselves justice.
Mousetrap's gone off.
You're interrupting Stato.
I'm sorry, Mousetrap went off.
The crowd were absolutely riveted there by that.
Teals cost you 6 points. Burrows and Gage have only given you.
Got it.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, bloody.
Oh, it's gone off. Anyway, God, they were riveted. It feels like being riveted.
Actually, meanwhile, in the Sheffield United dressing room,
When the free kicks go, just there, then we all stand and what?
You're giving them some terrible stick.
Getting slaughtered.
Right then. Anyway, Dave, you've taken over the Golders Greenbacks. So we've been bottom of the table for how long now, Stato?
Well, most of the last 3 weeks, certainly, and at the moment, they're 12 points adrift, so it really is going to need a miracle, and as I said in my news round, a few changes from Dave if he's going to get them out of trouble.
Well, let's see the team as was. That was as it was when you took it over. Tell us what you intend to do, Dave.
Because you've already dipped into the transfer market, I understand.
Well, I'm moving a lot of players out. You know, to be fair, when Peter Cook picked that team.
Now, where did that Freudian slip come from? Sorry, Dave, carry on.
Well, I'm afraid we've got to start all over again. So, really, we can start with the change on the goalkeeper, Roberts at QPR. Newsom can stay. 2 new fullbacks, David Brightwell of Manchester City.
This must be a bit of a novelty for you to have money to spend on players.
Well, you realise I could mess it up.
Well.
Have you stuck with Josh Stein-Flo, incidentally?
Yeah, I have. I looked at...
But you've got him, of course, in this team and in the real world.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, I feel in the last 3 games he's going to come good for me. Both ways. Oh, sorry.
What do you mean, both ways? No, yeah. So it must be... Are you going to talk to him about him being in your fantasy league team as well?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to have a word with him because I don't want to be associated with 2 sides that get relegated.
I think Flo will definitely be in the United team for the last 3 games. But you've stuck with Cantona, I take it.
Yeah, I've stayed with Cantona.
What's all that about?
Oh, come on. A great player. He's a great player. I think your favourite player, isn't it, Richard?
Absolutely, wonderful player.
Yeah.
Terrific player.
Do you know, we did a thing the other week about the awards that when he was in France, he won lots of unusual awards. And what we didn't mention was the French Billiards Association gave him an award. This is absolutely true. Gave him an award for the best billiard shot using footballers' heads. Lovely plant into the corner pocket there.
Yeah. Yeah. So you made about 8 or 9 changes altogether.
Yeah, enormous amount of changes. Really, only Cantona, Brighton, Newsom remain. The rest of the team changes. And to add a bit of skill to it, I've brought Vinnie Jones into midfield.
Yeah,
right. And now, it's time for Phoenix from the Flames. This week, a bloke in 70s clothes comes on with a paint pot and paints the penalty spot.
Well, Joe, this Saturday, as I'm sure you know, football fans all over the world will be celebrating bloke in 70s clothes comes on with a paint pot and paints the penalty spot day, which all goes back to the 30th of April 1977. So what happened?
Well, a bloke came on wearing 1970s clothes with a paint pot and painted the penalty spot. But nobody really makes a day of that.
Anyway, Joe, you were saying?
Well, I was playing for Manchester City against Derby County at the baseball ground. At that time, they had a really, really bad pitch full of sand, and we were losing 3-0. Archie Gemmell was running into the box. He ran past Gary Owen and then decided to have a lie down. Anyway, the ref put the ball down for the penalty. And I decided it was a little bit too close. The ref thought it was in the right place, and I thought it was in another place further on. And then the fellow with the paint pot came out.
Could you paint us a penalty spot, do you think?
Got a lot of jobs on at the moment. Come in Monday.
No, I need it right away.
It's time and a half on a Saturday. What colour do you want it?
Well, white, I think.
Magnolia's very nice, very chic at the moment.
No, I'll stick with white.
All right. Shall I do my funny run again?
Yeah, if you like. Oh!
Well, obviously, we'll have to have a matte undercoat here.
Rev, where do you want it exactly?
Ah, well, there's some debate about this, you see. I think it should be about here, but, Joe, how much further on do you think it should be?
One step beyond!
Good old Joe Corrigan. What a fine man. A real incident, that, though. Some bloke did have to come on and paint the penalty spot.
Oh, well, we've got a letter. We've got a letter. It says, it's from a young lad. It says, Dear David and Frank, please could you give me some advice? I'd like to become a sports photographer because I think it must be brilliant to get so close to the action. Can you help me? And that's actually from Harry David Hopkins.
I suppose all the kids on his estate was called David when they called him in,
Yeah. Well,
that's not right, is it? They must have been called Harry, haven't they? And then the mother said,
go and have a lie down.
His dad was called... Anyway, that's...
Well, Harry, we think a vacancy has just come up.
Didn't Mick Jagger do that about 20 years ago, if I remember rightly? To some poor photographer. Anyway, I think that's all we've got time for.
It is, actually. Thanks very much, Richard. Thank you very much, David. Thank you. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, it has been brilliant. Next week, our guests are Caron Harry Brady and Bob Harry Mortimer.
Actually, before we say goodnight, are you going to go to West Brom tomorrow?
Of course I want to go to West Brom.
Why?
Because we... Look, what it's all about, really, is believing, isn't it? Harry believes that Sheffield United are going to fight their way and stay up. Richard believes that Tottenham are too classy to go down. You believe Chelsea are going to win the Cup at Wembley.
Stato believes that one day he'll get to see a grown woman naked.
Yeah, but I mean where things might happen. It's important. If you're a football supporter, a football person, you've got to believe, haven't you?
What do you believe, Frank?
I'll tell you what I believe.
I believe the West Brom won't be going down. That's clear to me. I believe tomorrow we'll beat Grimsby Town by 2 or 3. Tuesday we'll beat Luton, and then Sunday next we'll light the dark at Fratton Park. I believe next season we will start to play like in my dreams. I believe that slowly we will rise above the other teams. I remember Astle Brown and Cunningham and Johnny Wilde and Huey Reid, and that is why
If you want